Hey, hello. My name is Lucky. This is Coastwood Football, and today we are watching Wellington, Phoenix, and Melbourne City in the round of 16 of the Australia Cup. An all A-Leagues matchup in the Cup, and this is the third consecutive year these two teams have faced each other in the Cup, which is pretty remarkable. Wellington, Phoenix winning on both previous occasions. Can Melbourne City finally end that run? Last year's A-League premiers. Very excited for this one. Sunday afternoon Cup football. This is the second Cup fixture we have in the round of 16 so far. We were live yesterday for Brisbane Roar, Sydney United. Brisbane Roar picking up a huge win, 5-0 against Sydney United yesterday. Very fun. Great performance there by Brisbane. Marcus is here, Max Troy. Hey guys, how's it going? Marcus coming in with the early score predictions here. Says it's going to be 2-1 City. Max is back in 3-1 City. Feel free to throw your score predictions in now, as we're only not a few minutes away from kickoff. And this, for me, I am backing City for the win. In my predictions video earlier in the week, I did go for City. I'm fascinated in terms of how this game will pan out, though, because when you look at the lineups, which is important to talk about the lineups, it is a strong lineup for both sides, but especially City. Melbourne City, a lot of eyes have been on the premiers over the off-season, over pre-season, and they've been trying to, rebuild their squad. They've had so many big players leave the club with the likes of Geordie Boss, Marco Tilio. How do they go about replacing these guys? And they've basically completed their recruitment now. Basically, everyone is brought in. All the gaps have been filled. Now, it's a matter of, will this new-look City side be able to gel together? Exciting to see Aziz Bayic. He's starting today for Melbourne City. His first start for the club in almost a decade. Massive day for him. Yakelis starts up top and in the wide position for City, who's expected to replace Marcatilio in sort of that winger role. We've also got Hamza Saki, who's making his Melbourne City debut in midfield today. Tolga Arslan is in there as well. He got two goals in the round of 32 win against Oakley Cannons. Aside from that, it's pretty much what City have been running for the last couple of years. Obviously, Jamie Young's in goals as well. Steve Ugarkovic, worth pointing out, former Wellington Phoenix player. He knows Wellington Phoenix very well. He was there last season. He will be playing at the base of that City midfield we expect today. So, very curious to see how City go today, because this will be our first sort of look at a full-strength City side. Another new signing, Terry Antonis. He's on the bench today, I believe, as well. Wellington Phoenix, though, Josh Rudland starts. His first start for Wellington Phoenix. Aside from that, is pretty much a full-strength lineup. A couple players missing. No Sam Sutton, he's away. No Ben Old as well. But keep an eye on Oscar Zavada, of course, starting up top for Wellington Phoenix. Always dangerous, the Polish striker. Troy says, my Arsenal were awful last night. It was a big night of Premier League action. And Arsenal... unfortunately for them, going down, well, not down, they were held 2-2 by Fulham, a 10-man Fulham too, which was a disappointing result in the end for Arsenal. And we were live last night. We did our first ever Premier League watch-along, which was a lot of fun. We did Spurs v Bournemouth. We watched Tottenham defeat Bournemouth 2-0, and doing so well in the Premier League. It is so good to see. And we're gonna follow Spurs closely this season, especially obviously with Ange being there. And hopefully they do have a decent run with Ange in charge. But Ange Ball has well and truly arrived in the Premier League. And we're loving it. Australian fans are loving it. And more importantly, Spurs fans are loving it. It's so good seeing, everyone sort of getting behind Ange. There was a little bit of criticism coming in, some skepticism around Ange Postecoglou from Tottenham fans. How would he go settling in the Premier League? It's people comparing it to, it's not quite the same as Celtic in the Scottish Premier League. But he's doing well. He's doing very, very well so far. So, very excited to see how Ange goes. And they've got a decent run of games coming up too, some winnable games. So, Spurs could seriously make a really, really good start to the Premier League season before the international break in a couple of weeks' time. But it was really fun, man. It was a lot of fun to do our first Premier League watch-along last night. It's something that we've been keen to explore a little bit more of. I know, like a lot of you guys, Australian football fans, a lot of people follow the Premier League so closely. So yeah, choices. I'm also surprised about West Ham's strong start. They were really impressive in their 3-1 win over Brighton last night. Hey, and currently sit top of the table with 2 wins and a draw. Wins against Chelsea and Brighton, which are two decent sides to defeat. Hey, curious to see how West Ham go this season as well. They're a team who we watched them in pre-season in that they played that pre-season friendly in Australia against Tottenham in Perth a couple months ago now, and they looked good there. And they've started the Premier League season pretty strongly as well. No worries, Marcus. It was a very fun watch last night. Spurs are just playing. They're playing great football too. Like the goals that they scored were very, very nice goals. Really intricate passing play. It was awesome to watch. So our focus now turns to Victoria. The Australia Cup is set to kick off here. Melbourne City, Wellington Phoenix. We are underway, of course. Possibly slightly delayed here on the YouTube stream, which is a standard thing. So just please be aware of that. We might be slightly delayed. Good to see Spencer here as well. Got 9 out of 9 on the griddle today. Marcus got 9 out of 9 as well. Very nice. Awesome stuff. We are going to be playing griddle at halftime, of course, keeping up our tradition of halftime griddle. So griddle, the A-League trivia game, we will be jumping into that at halftime as our little halftime entertainment. 9 out of 9s. Okay, so maybe an easy one today. Maybe an easy one. You're excited? Very excited to jump into the griddle today, as always. Okay. So, Melbourne City in their away kit from last season, the red and white away kit, which is very reminiscent of the red and white Melbourne Heart kit they used to wear back in the day. Obviously, that's a connection back to those Heart days back in the early 2010s when the club first joined the competition. Wellington Phoenix in the all yellow strip. It's a nice strip, actually, this Wellington Phoenix kit. If you look closely on the close-up shots, there's like a cool sort of pattern on the front of the jersey. It's cool. So, very curious to see, especially how Melbourne City go today. This is, as we mentioned earlier, pretty much a full-strength Melbourne City side. A lot of players making their debut today as well, as City are inside the box early here, and the shot from Arslan is blocked. Tolga Arslan, good experience in Europe, man. Played at the top level in Germany and Italy. He's wearing number 10 for Melbourne City. Grabbed a couple goals from the penalty spot against Oakley Cannons in the round of 32. Spencer says, you should do an A-League kit ranking video when they all release. Definitely planning on doing that for sure, yeah. Definitely. We've only got a few kits so far. We got the Wanderers kit, which I love. I tell you what, spoiler, we have to wait and see what other kits come out. Legitimately, it's going to be hard to beat that Wanderers kit. I think the Wanderers kit this season is one of the best kits I've ever seen in the A-League. It's so good. So, early call now. We've only had a couple of kits released, but I think the Wanderers kit is going to be right up there for sure. Central Coast Mariners are the other team to have released their kit, and I don't believe there's any others. I don't think any other teams have released their kits yet. Nice play. Yakalis. Good little passing play down the right flank there. Yakalis getting in behind there for Melbourne City. Marin Yakalis, 26-year-old winger. He is Croatian. But I believe is also eligible to play for Australia as well. So a player potentially hoping to get on the Socceroos radar. Where's Bajic? I believe he's playing, isn't he? He should be playing. He's over at left back. Let's double check the team sheets. He should be at left back. I believe he was named on the team sheet today. Let's double check that. Yeah. Yes, he is. He is indeed on the team sheet. So keep an eye out for, as is Bajic. Oh, and then, jeez. Alex Paulson being closed down there, but he gets it away. Lucas Kelly-Heald playing at left back once again for Wellington Phoenix. Keep an eye on him. He was actually really solid in the round of 32 match against Peninsula Power. Very tall defender. Dom's here. How's it going, Dom? Good to see you here. Spencer says, I'm happy West Sydney Wanderers ditched the army green kit. It was awful. I didn't mind that one. It was, different vibe. Marcus, I just missed your question from a moment ago. Where do Mariners need to improve, squad depth-wise? Well, I mean, hey, I would have probably said center of midfield, but yesterday Mariners announced the signing of Will Wilson from Melbourne Victory, which is a fantastic signing, good young player. So, aside from the center of midfield, probably the center of defense. I think if there's any position that Mariners need to look to, it's the center of defense. Even though that's looking pretty well covered at the moment. We've got some good young players who can slot in as well. Maybe another winger, I think, for Mariners. But aside from that, it's looking pretty comfortable. But I think the signing of Wilson for Mariners was an important one, considering that Mariners are, going to be juggling both A-League and an Asian football this year. That's right, Max, pointing out the chat, says Steven Ugarkovic playing against his former club. Indeed, spent last season at the Knicks, did Steven Ugarkovic. Now at his fourth A-League club in Melbourne City, after stints at Newcastle Jets and Western Sydney Wanderers. Very experienced A-League midfielder. And a good replacement for Aiden O'Neill, who, has big boots to fill, right? It's big boots to fill when you're trying to replace a Socceroos midfielder in Aiden O'Neill, who was superb last year. Hey, Chris is here as well. Good to see you here, Christopher. Everyone expects City to win based on both lineups, says Chris. Yeah, I think on paper, it's definitely a stronger lineup for Melbourne City. The quality, the class, the experience is there for City. And they're the home team as well. You'd expect them to get the win. But in the Cup, you just never know. Of course, these two teams, this is the third consecutive year that they are meeting in the Cup, which is pretty remarkable. We saw the same thing with Sydney Mariners, didn't we? That's the third time Sydney Mariners have faced in the Cup in the last 3 years too. So, and Wellington Phoenix won the last two matches, but in the Cup between these two sides. So can Wellington Phoenix keep up that trend of defeating Melbourne City? And both games, of course, were in Victoria. Patiently waiting for a striker, says Spencer. That's right. Brisbane Roar desperately need a striker. I mean, I say, maybe not as desperate as maybe they were after yesterday. Thomas Waddingham was pretty solid in the end for Brisbane Roar in their 5-0 win against Sydney United yesterday. The young striker is the only recognised striker at the moment at Brisbane Roar, and he scored a fantastic goal. Really brilliant header. Marcus says, rate Madison's first EPL games for Spurs out of 10. A solid 8. Yeah, 8 out of 10 for me. He's been very, very good, James Maddison, and good for him to get his first goal for the side as well against Bournemouth. Nicely taken goal too. It was a lovely run and finish from James Maddison, and he's going to be so key, I think, for Spurs this season. As long as James Maddison can stay fit for Spurs, they're a chance to crack top 6 for sure. There's a good sign in the making there. The way they're going, they're going to be hard to stop Spurs. They just look really, really fluent in attack. So a lot of focus, obviously, on this Melbourne City lineup. Wellington Phoenix, the lineup isn't necessarily that weak. Some inexperience here and there. For Wellington, it's that left side, though, where they've got the youth. So Josh Rudland, he's playing out in that left wing. And at left back, it's Lucas Kelly-Heald, who only made his first senior appearance in the round of 32 for Phoenix. So there's some youngsters in the side today. Finn Sermon, a young centre-back, playing in at the back there, alongside experienced Scott Wooten. Tim Payne's at right back today. The position, though, that Phoenix really need to strengthen is the centre of midfield. One of their former central midfielders is playing for the other team, of course, as we mentioned a moment ago, in Steve Ugarkovic. It's Rufer and Pennington, the two players in midfield for Phoenix. But aside from that, they brought in Mohamed Altai from Newcastle Jets. I still feel like they need someone else. They lost Clayton Lewis as well, of course. You still feel like there's maybe, one more player that they still have to bring in, hey? Ayom Majok. Yeah, Ayom Majok can play as a striker. Spencer says he's a right mid. He's one of those, versatile sort of attacking players, for sure. Spencer says, might go to Gold Coast Knights v West United, only 10 minutes drive from my house. For sure, man. That'd be a great game. West United are looking good. They really impressed me in their match against Edgeworth Eagles. They were looking very nice. 4-0 against the Eagles in the round of 32. Western United are a team who I think could impress this year. Here's a giveaway by Phoenix. Yakelis on the ball, feeding McLaren, who's dragged it wide. McLaren wins the corner for City. Chance for Melbourne City. Dom says, I was absolutely spewing after Madison and Bowen on the bench in FPL. Oh, dude, yes. A lot of people mentioned that actually when we did our Spurs watch along last night. Everyone was like, "Oh no!" I took Madison out of my FPL. Looks like a decent turnout today as well, says Dom. It does indeed. It looks very nice. Jack Edwards reserve. This match is being played at in Victoria. Corner headed away by Phoenix. There is Ugarkovic to chip it in. Nuno Reis to recover. City dangerous here. Aslan. Phoenix trying to get this one clear. They do now. Boy. Spencer says Jamie Young going to play for every club before he retires. How many clubs is this now? 3, I think. This is his 3rd club now, Jamie Young, I think. Brisbane Roar, West United, and now Melbourne City. Valhoon says Forest were 2-0 up after 4 minutes versus United. It was crazy, wasn't it? I was watching the goal rush on Optus Sport, and it was madness, wasn't it? It was Fulham scored first against Arsenal as well. It was a chaotic night of Premier League action, that's for sure. Here's a chance here. Josh Rudland for Wellington. Phoenix looking to pull the trigger. Hits the referee, and that should be a pause and play. It is. Dom says Dom says I got my tickets for Knights game. Spencer, I'm keen. It should be a good one, yeah. Christopher says Appiah v Sydney will be a blockbuster. Spencer asks, who's the next Socceroos striker after McLaren and Duke retire? Dom says Yengi for me, Spencer. Yengi's definitely a shout. I mean, he's made a great start to life for Portsmouth over there in England. And he's got all the attributes to be a great striker for many years to come. Hey, McLaren and Duke, once they retire. Yengi's definitely a good shout. Mohamed Toure, we know he's playing over in France at the moment. Did get a call up to the Ollie Roos. Unfortunately, will miss out due to injury. Who else is in there? I mean, Jason Cummings. I think as long as Jason Cummings is scoring goals, I think he scored the other night for India in a cup playoff match. AFC Cup playoff match, I believe, Jason Cummings. So I think if they were both to retire. To be fair, though, I mean, I don't see either of them retiring for a little while still. Ravenous Advar, good to see you here, man. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Qual as well. Qual. I assume you mean Garang, or you could mean Alu. I mean, I would both, for sure. Yeah, there's options there, but yeah, Yengi and Toure are the ones for me that really stand out. Who else in the A-League could maybe step up? A young Aussie striker. I mean, someone like, who needs more game time, and will he get it? I mean, at the moment he will, I think. But Patrick Wood, he's a long way off it. He's a long way off getting a Socceroos call-up, for sure, obviously. But I do like Patrick Wood. I think he's got good attributes to his game. And, maybe a long-term option for the Socceroos if he does pick up his game moving forward. That's right, son. Lee, number 44, Marin Yakelis might play for Australia if he plays well. Yes, we were touching on that a little bit earlier. It's one of those ones where he's Croatian, but he is eligible to play for the Socceroos. So perhaps that's an element to Yakelis's move here to Australia. to maybe put himself in the shop window. He's probably seen plays in the A-League. If you do well in the A-League, you can easily get a call up for the national team. So maybe that's his thought here. He's going to follow the path of someone like Marco Tilio. City trying to make a move down the left there. As is Bajic, gives away the foul. As is Bajic making his first City appearance in almost a decade. Nick D'Agostino, that's a fair shout as well. He slipped to my mind. Yep, Nick D'Agostino for sure. Could be a future Socceroos striker. Revenant Zarvak says, I would have said Alu Kowal before he suffered what so many others have stalling after going to Europe. Revenant Zarvak also says, having a great weekend. Very much enjoyed Brisbane's win yesterday. It was a fantastic 5-0 victory for the Brisbane Roar over Sydney United. We were live for that match doing the watch-along. A lot of you guys were here for that one, and I appreciate you tuning in. And it was a really impressive performance by Brisbane Roar yesterday as the ball... Oh my gosh, just bounced back down. That's hilarious. The ball just then fell on top of like the grandstand, which isn't that tall, and then rolled back down somehow. Oh, heavy challenge there from Curtis Good. That's got to be a foul. Curtis Good is complaining. I'm not sure how you can complain there. Curtis Good's not happy with the decision. That's a foul for sure, right? Let's have a look at the replay. Curtis Good has just barreled into, I think it might have been Nico Pennington. We didn't even get to see it on the replay. The camera wasn't on it. But that was certainly a foul. Curtis Good wiped out Pennington there. Volpato, yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, if he does finally choose to play for the Socceroos, that's for sure. Tom says, really picking an Australian lineup is almost impossible considering overseas players with connections. Here's a chance for Wellington Phoenix. Delivery towards that far post isn't bad. Nuno Reis heads it up. Pennington hits. Good block, McLaren. Great opportunity for Wellington. Under pressure here as they go backwards. Kelly Heald does well to keep that in. Really well to keep that in. Well done, Lucas Kelly Heald there. Božidar Krajev right under the camera here. This camera is like right on the sideline. It's like looking directly down there. Great chance for Wellington a moment ago. That was definitely their best chance of the game. In a dangerous area. And Pennington's shot was travelling. They could be in behind once again here. Rudland. Offside flags up. Good start to this game. Good start to this game. We're 17 minutes in. Couple openings for both sides. City controlling the play so far. Got some more striker shouts here. Noah Botic is someone who, yes, we could see in a Socceroos shirt in years to come. Hopefully for him, man, and for the Socceroos, he does get more game time for Western once again this year. He had a bit of a breakout season in the A-League last year, in the absence of Alexander Prijovic. And, you know, we'll keep an eye on what happens in the Prijovic situation. For the last couple of years, it's been, you know, will he come back? Will he keep playing for Western? Will he leave? And he didn't... Prijovic didn't play in the round of 32. And that was no problem at all. I mean, Western won 4-0 and Botic scored. Michael Roos is another striker there at Western. He scored. So I don't think it'd be concerning for Western if Prijovic wants to leave. Mitch Glasson is another one that Marcus has thrown in the chat there. Yeah, maybe another one who's like maybe slightly further down the production line, if you like. Obviously a little bit younger there, Mitch Glasson. But a player who we saw started in the Under-17 Asian Cup for the Joeys. Christopher says, good start by both sides. Indeed, it is. Two A-League teams looking to have a good run in the Cup here. Melbourne City have lifted the Cup previously, of course, as we know. Wellington Phoenix, a team who generally don't do all that well in the Australia Cup. Obviously, the only New Zealand representative in this competition, which is quite a unique situation. Wellington Phoenix hoping to have a bit more of a successful run this year. Ugarkovic, long switch. Went in front of teammate, but Lucas Kelly-Hill is forced into conceding a corner. Nathan Amanatides again, yeah, probably on that Joey's list of Joey strikers who could be a future Socceroos striker. Another player at Sydney FC too, isn't it? Yes, in the chat says, is it just me or is template not working? Template seems to be working fine for me. Seems to be working all right, that's for sure for me. Oh, let's go reverse here. Let's go something different. Revenant Save Access. I've had inconsistent issues with 10 play. Wish they put it on Paramount Plus. I haven't noticed any issues personally with watching 10 play. It's been okay for me. That's just my experience. What's going on here? Yes, 3. Is it going for Botic as well? There's options, isn't there? I mean, like a lot of you guys have mentioned a lot of like good Socceroos potential strikers, hey? And all these guys we've talked about here, like Yengi, Kowal, Toure, Botic, D'Agostino, like there's a promising production line of strikers coming through who could step up. Which one will? That's the question. I think if you had to throw one of them in now, I think probably Mo Toure. Oh, we're going to come back to that. Great chance, Wellington! Oh my gosh. Well, how has Oscar Zawada missed that? What happened there? The Polish striker was in behind for Wellington. Let's have a look at the replay. Barbarouses with a delightful through ball. What's he doing? The Polish striker was a goal machine for Wellington last year, and he's just basically passed that out of play. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. What a chance for Wellington. Best chance of the game. Marcus. Breakout player at every A-League club. That's actually a video I'm planning on making close to the start of the A-League season. Hey, I was very impressed with Adamson, the right back for Melbourne City, I believe his name is. He played in the Australia Cup round of 32 match. He was very good. Who else could we look at? Maybe someone like... Ooh, heavy challenge here. It's going to be the first booking of the game. Talbot is in pain. And Nicholas Pennington with a rough challenge. Yellow card has been dished out. Talbot is in agony here. Let's have a look at this replay. It was a sliding challenge. Wasn't even a sliding challenge. It was more just like a stray boot. Pennington lifting the boot up. Yes, in the chat says, according to somewhat reliable sources, Prijovic came back to training quite unfit. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the Prijovic situation. Again, it's an interesting one. But yeah, like I said, I feel like if he was to part ways with Western, you know, you've got Botic and Michael Roos, two good young strikers who I'm sure would be happy to jump in as your first team striker. And I think Botic is good enough, especially now Botic is good enough to be a starting striker in the A-League. You know, we'd love to see him get a run. Callum Talbot, I think almost asking the question there of whether that should have been a red card. I don't think there's any question of that. It was certainly late from Pennington. So, 23 minutes in. City 0. Wellington 0. A couple of years ago when these teams met in the Cup, it did go to a penalty shootout. Wellington winning on that occasion. And it was the keeper starting for Phoenix as well today. Alex Paulson, who was the hero that day. All those years ago. Should have been 1-0 indeed. Tarnley says, I hope A-League All Access comes back next season. Hey, hopefully. I'd imagine it would be. I don't see any reason why it won't. Oh, that's a good ball over the top for Phoenix. It's Zawana. He's got it a bit wide. What can he do with it here? Forced back. Delivers. Rufer trying to control, and the shot from Payne is blocked by Leckie. Nice work by Wellington. And look at this quick press here. Wellington go backwards and City blast forward, trying to close them down. Phoenix looking the better of the two sides in the last 5-10 minutes. Raven Zarvak says, it's interesting that Matildas have so many top-class attacking players, but that's an area of the field that the Socceroos are weakest in. Yeah, I guess that's just a coincidence, isn't it? I wouldn't say that Socceroos are necessarily that weak in that area. You could argue that maybe there's some other areas that Socceroos are a bit weak into, but I think Socceroos at the moment are pretty balanced. I don't think we're too lopsided or anything. Can City get themselves back on the ball and break forward? They haven't been able to control it. That should be a foul. An unnecessary one from Leckie on Wooten. Nice little moment between the two players there too. Scott Wooten, his third season at Wellington Phoenix. Underrated centre-back. He doesn't really get talked about. The English centre-back. He's a solid defender. Goes long here looking for Zawada. Just nudged off it. Jamie Young. A lot of people, when Jamie Young signed for Melbourne City, a lot of people were a little bit skeptical about the signing. I think it's a great signing. You know, he's an experienced keeper. He knows what it's like to play in some of the biggest games in the A-League. Won a championship with Western United. And he's a great keeper. He makes some fantastic saves. So I think it's a good pickup for City. Plenty of Melbourne City fans in the stands for this one. Good turnout. Great to see these games at suburban grounds. Something different in the Cup, of course. Tarnley asks, is there a Socceroos friendly coming up in September? Yes, there is. The Socceroos take on Mexico on Sunday, September 10. That is Australia time, because the match is kicking off at midday Australian Eastern Standard Time. Socceroos take on Mexico. The match is being played in Texas, USA. And very excited for that one. We'll definitely be doing a live watch-along for that one, which is in, exactly 2 weeks' time, right? Exactly 2 weeks' time that match is taking place. Will be a good test for the Socceroos against Mexico, a decent side. You'd imagine that the team for that Mexico friendly would be mainly made up of overseas players. Obviously, the A-League players still in their pre-season, whereas there's a bunch of international players who are already well into their seasons. Compact! It's going well, man. Good to see you here. Says, pretty annoyed at some decisions at my victory. They have released one of the decent young players we had, and Will Wilson. Like, seriously, why? It was a questionable decision from Melbourne Victory to let Will Wilson go. Hey, but it's a win for my team. Mariners love that Mariners were able to pick up Will Wilson, but it was a bizarre one because he was looking good over the last couple of years. He was sort of, he wasn't getting regular game time, but from what we saw of him, he was looking real good. And you'd expect that maybe he was going to have a big season coming up as well. But for whatever reason, Victory happy to let him leave. So, he's joining a rival club. So it's a question. I think Victory fans have reason to be upset, for sure. Raven Zarvak also says Jamie Young is very underrated. Was sensational at Brisbane. Absolutely. Frenzied Rabbit says A-League All Access Lockie episode when? What would that be? Just like another camera of like me, like at my desk doing this. That'd be funny. Here's City in possession. Trying to get an attack going. Credit to Wellington. They've been pretty solid in their defensive shape today. City haven't really been able to penetrate into the penalty area. Alliteration. Nice pass. Zawada. Rufa goes long and finds Rudland, who somehow passes it out of play. Okay. Oz Hub Football, how's it going? It says, hey, Lockie, what are your thoughts on Volpato playing for the Socceroos? Many people still against it due to the Snapchat story. Yes, of course. We remember that iconic Snapchat story from when the Socceroos played Japan back in March of 2022. Hey, I mean, obviously that incident, I mean, at the time, upset a lot of fans, myself included. It was a bit out of it was poor taste. Obviously, it wasn't very nice. But look, if he's a good lad, yeah, Graham Arnold is a good manager, and I think if Graham Arnold wants him and believes he can fit into this Socceroos squad, then he'll want to make it happen, and I'm down for it. I trust Graham's judgment. And hey, look, there's no doubt that he has the talent. I mean, look, he's playing at a good level in Italy, and he's a promising player with a bright future. So I'm totally down for Volpato to be called up to the Socceroos. Yes, was this Snapchat thing a little bit, a bit of a sign of maybe poor attitude, maybe, but hey, I don't think I'm going to let that stop us from giving him a Socceroos call up. There's a lot of young players sort of in that sort of similar position that could do all right as well. So I don't think it's a situation of like, oh, we need to try and like cap Volpato. It's not like a desperate situation, but I'm down for it. Yes in the chat says, I actually like the idea of a Superfan episode as well, to be fair. You know what? That would be good. Did we get one? Did we get an all-access episode like that? I don't think we did. Yeah, just like tracking some fans. Maybe like before a Sydney derby, just like the lives of some fans in the week leading up to it, just like which would basically be like some like a mega match day vlog sort of thing, match week vlog if you like, for sure. All right, half an hour football has been played. It's Melbourne City 0. It's Wellington Phoenix 0. Two teams were looking all right. Probably not at their best. Still trying to get things going as they continue their preparations for the upcoming A-League men's campaign. Of course, the fixture was released for the new season on Thursday. Melbourne City opened their campaign at home to Western United. And Wellington Phoenix, their first match is away to Western Sydney Wanderers. City have controlled most of possession this game. Wellington happy for City to be on the ball here. Chance for Melbourne City to get in behind here. Bage's cross isn't the best. As is Bage, getting in some really advanced positions. Some Geordie boss territory. Obviously, big boost to Phil well there in Geordie boss. But hey, it's not a bad replacement. Hey, bringing in another Socceroos left back in Aziz Beach. Oscar says, get Red Wiggle Steve on for an episode. Hey, we love Red Wiggle Steve. What a legend. Iconic Adelaide United fan. That'd be great. Tarley asks, what is Volpato's position? He's an attacking player, attacking midfielder. I believe he can play out wide as well. Got a few players in that sort of position with the likes of McGree, Tilio, Kowal. Robertson. So, Melbourne City, can they fashion an opportunity? The game has now been stuck for the last 10 minutes in this pattern of Melbourne City controlling it all the ball, knocking it around. Ugarkovic has been heavily involved in the base of that midfield. They've been knocking it around well, but not a lot of movement up ahead. But here's Leckie trying to get in behind. Trickles through to Paulson. So, well done to Wellington Phoenix so far. Shape is looking good. Defensively strong. Melbourne City As we talked about, this is probably their full-strength lineup. This is potentially what we could see Melbourne City line up with in round 1 on October 21st as they take on Western United. Nice ball around the corner. Jakalic delivers. Far post towards Saki. Cleared away. Arslan recovers it inside the box. Nice little turn. Chips it in. McLaren's there. Headed away by Wooten. Phoenix do it well to get it clear. Well done, Wellington. Defending well. Well, Wellington. Wellington. Ravenous Arvak says, unsurprisingly, the game feels very much like 2 sides in preseason. Very low pace to it. Yeah, it's been the way of things. And finally, it was a similar sort of thing. It was a similar thing in the Sydney FC Mariners game that I went to a few weeks ago in the round of 32. But it was a bit of the opposite, whereas it was pretty chaotic. Yeah. Yes, Marcus, we will be doing Griddle at halftime in about 10 minutes or so. We will be playing Griddle here live on stream. So if you want to see me either humiliate myself in failure or hopefully succeed once again in Griddle, we'll be doing that in about 10 minutes time here on stream as our little halftime entertainment. We got 9 out of 9 yesterday, which was good. I think. No. Yesterday was the tricky one, wasn't it? Yesterday I got 7 out of 9. Yesterday was the one. I always get confused. It all blurs into one now. Yesterday was that tricky one. I slipped on the finding a Wanderers player who had won over 40 games. I guessed Jacopo La Rocca, but there was only 3 options and I missed them all. Here's a delivery for Phoenix. Clean away. Chance for Phoenix. Kelly Heald. Gets it through. Sydney get that clear though. And that's a foul. Is this game being played at Amy Park? Asks Luke. Not this one. This is being played at Jack Edwards Reserve in Victoria. Which is a common thing that obviously we see in the Cup. They play a lot of these games at the regional grounds, which is good to see. Expands out to some different areas. Different vibe. It's a good turnout at this game too as well. Good smattering of City supporters. You can see that right-hand corner there, a good number of Wellington Phoenix fans as well. Delivery here for City. And the shot isn't bad. It's in! Wow, what a remarkable goal. It's 1-0 to City. The karate kick deflected off someone's head and it's in the back of the net. What a goal. Out of nothing. Well, I think Ugarkovic is celebrating it. Did he hit his head? Let's have a look at the replay. What a bizarre goal. Ugarkovic with the karate kick. Look at that. What an acrobatic effort. Wow, says Valhoon. What a goal, says Tarnley. What a finish, says Ravenous Arvak. Steven Ugarkovic has scored his first goal for Melbourne City. And I'll tell you what, it might go down to one of his teammates. I think that hit a City head. Let's have a look at this other replay. Dude, you can't tell. The camera's traveling so fast. Who? The villain, that's right, Marcus. Ugarkovic scores against his former club. And City take the lead here. Well, they haven't had too many chances, Melbourne City, despite dominating possession, but they do finally make the breakthrough here. And I think we needed that goal to spark this game into life a little bit. Christopher says, what a goal. Stephen against his former club indeed. Nice play here. Wellington looking to hit back immediately. Great play. Krayev in behind. Young makes his save. Wellington Phoenix so close to hitting back. Well, this game has exploded into life. Wellington Phoenix was probably their best chance of the game there. Bojda, Krayev in behind on the left. And there you go. It's 2 shots on target in the last couple minutes. Dude, I swear that goal for City, though, it definitely came off someone's head, right? Like, Ugarkovic came in with a crazy karate kick. Loved it. But it hit someone's head for sure. So, like one of his teammates. And then it got directed into the goal. But unless the cameras can't figure it out on the replay, it might just go down as Ugarkovic's strike. We're having a look at another replay of this goal here. Let's have a look. Is it Arslan? It is Arslan. It is. It's Tolgay Arslan. They showed us the replay. Arslan doesn't know too much about it. The shot comes in, and I'm pretty sure it comes off his head. Anyway, City looking for goal number 2 here. Arslan delivers towards the far post. Easy save. Wow. That goal has sprung this game into life for sure. Nama, good to see you here in the chat. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Good to see all you guys tuning in on a Sunday afternoon. Hope the weather is beautiful where you guys are tuning in from. Beautiful day here on the central coast of New South Wales. The sun is shining in on a Sunday afternoon. Don't forget, if you're enjoying the stream and if you want to support the channel, you can consider sending through a super chat. Super chats go a huge way, huge way to helping me continue to create content here on the Coastwatch Football YouTube channel. But hey, I greatly appreciate you guys tuning into these streams as always. This is our 3rd stream of the weekend. We were live for Sydney United v Brisbane yesterday. We did our first ever Premier League watch-along last night. That was a lot of fun. We watched Bournemouth v Tottenham. And hey, we'll have some watch-alongs coming up throughout the week. We've got a couple more days of Australia Cup coming up. Lucas Kelly-Heel on the ball here for Wellington, trying to wrestle past. Should be able to win the throw in there. He does. Saving for EAFC. Fair enough. When will Perth make a transfer? Hey, I mean, we'll see, right? Chance for some water in the box. It's going to trickle through. Okay, so not long to go in the half. We're going to be playing Griddle very, very shortly. But when will Perth make a transfer? It's a good question. Hey, it should be soon. The transfer window is only open for another few weeks. So, who will they bring in is the question. Is a good question. And what positions do they need to strengthen? We have to have another look at that Perth Glory lineup, but there's certainly some areas that they have to strengthen in for sure, Perth Glory. Mekalish. Moving infield here. Nice pass inside. Arslan. Looking for the sneaky pass inside, but didn't quite work out there for Talbot. It's been a good game. Fascinating game. City with more possession. Wellington mostly have been defending pretty well, though. It's been relatively even. McLaren. Dangerous area here for City. Wellington just trying to get this clear. Nice backheel there from Pennington. Great challenge, though. Who was that? It was Matt Leckie. Matthew Leckie putting in the defensive work. You can see as well this City side how much they rotate around. I mean, we can see a lot of these players sort of shifting around. It's essentially a 4-3-3 for Melbourne City. But you can see especially those two advanced midfielders for Melbourne City, Arslan and Saki, the way that they're just floating around those little pockets of space in front of Wellington's back four. It's dangerous. A Perth need an owner first, that's right. Pennington commits the foul here on Leckie. Shouldn't have too much injury time. Just the one injury this match, that was to Talbot earlier on. And the one goal. We're going to be playing Griddle in a couple of minutes. And some of you guys, yeah. So who's played Griddle today? Let me know. I think it was Marcus and Spencer both got 9 out of 9. Mentioned earlier, they got 9 out of 9 on Griddle. So potentially a bit of an easier one today, which is good. There's a one more chance in this half. Rufus' pass is wayward. And he's down hurt. And City can capitalise here on the space. Arslan can't get it. That run going through. Barbarousa's caught on possession. Ugarkovic is having a great game today for Melbourne City. He recovers it. City committing numbers forward. Tolga Arslan. Nice pass. Lecky shoots. Good power. Straight into the hands of Alex Paulsons, though. Tom says, no way people got 9. I got 7. I'm keen to check it out. Yesterday's one was the one that was really tough, and some people got 9, and I was shocked about that too. I was like, oh my gosh. I slipped on the middle square from yesterday, which was a Wanderers player who had played 40-plus games. And then I also slipped on one of the squares in Griddle yesterday was a player who had made their debut over the age of 30 and had played at least 10 finals games. I went for Best Barisha, but that was a massive mistake. Beside Barisha was 26 when he made his A-League debut, which, looking back, considering how long he played in the A-League, probably makes a lot of sense. I was like, oh yeah, that it was a long time ago he made his first appearance for Brisbane Roar back in the day. 2 minutes of injury time, by the way. 2 minutes of injury time. Wellington Phoenix absolutely in this game. Need to try and gain some more control of possession first, that's for sure. Melbourne City controlling the ball when they don't have it. The press is vicious. It's fast. It's intense. How can Wellington Phoenix counteract that? Here's Hamza Saki making his debut for City. Bajic. Back for Saki. Delivering. Headed away by Heel. Lucas Kelly healed. Corner. We're going to finish off the half with a corner opportunity here for the home team. Second goal would be huge here. Robin Zarvak also got 7 in Griddle today. Nama, I do vaguely remember that. Bruce Kamau. Bruce Kamau came on and scored 2 goals. I do vaguely remember that one, yes. From a couple of years ago. So, what can Wellington Phoenix do to get themselves back into this game? Only down by 1 goal. Still an opportunity to get themselves back in this one. Melbourne City, though, just edging it at the break. It is half-time of Jack Edwards Reserve in Victoria in this Australia Cup round of 16 matchup. Melbourne City 1, Wellington Phoenix 0. City looking to go all the way to claim their second ever Australia Cup trophy. Wellington Phoenix, they've defeated City in the last 2 cup meetings between these sides. Can they keep that run going and get themselves back in the second half? That is the question, ladies and gentlemen, and we will find out within the next hour. So, Griddle. I think it's time for some Griddle. No worries, Ollie. Good to see you here, mate. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday. Glad you can join us. Hey, let's jump into some Griddle. It's time for some Griddle. Time for some Griddle. You're hungry for some Griddle tonight. Okay. So, let's have a look here. What do we got? Okay, first of all, I'm going to close the chat. I will be reading the chat afterwards, but I'll be closing the chat. I always do this just to avoid any sort of names being thrown into the chat or anything. Okay. All right, Sydney Jets Western, cool. We've got the own goal in there. That's the one that always gets me, the 1+ own goal. Less than 10 games, which is always a tricky stat. And then 15+ get goalkeeper clean sheets. Okay. So the top row is going to be tricky because the less than 10 games is sometimes tricky to think of. Let's have a look at... okay, yes. Some squares are a little bit tricky there. Okay, 1+ own goal, 15+ keeper clean sheets. I do recall that Liam Reddy does have an own goal. I think we have discovered that. think we can go Liam Reddy here, right? There we go. There we go. Good start. Good start here. So, one own goal for Western. Now, I believe Josh Risdon has one. I believe Josh Risdon was one of the players who... Oh, maybe that might have been for Perth, though. How many? What was the number here for this one? 3. So, remarkably, there's only been 3 players in Western United history who have scored an own goal. 3 players. I'm going to go Josh Risdon here. Maybe Leo Lacroix. But I feel like I remember like looking at the answers afterwards. I feel like that... Josh Risdon was one of them, but that might have been for Perth Glory, man. But it's going to be a guess, regardless of if I go for anyone else. Like, unless I can like really rack my brain to try and remember some own goals for Western United from games over recent years, but don't know if I can do that. I mean, Leo Lacroix, maybe. Let's go Risdon here. Josh Risdon. Damn it. I'm not too disappointed, though. That's a tricky one. Oh, boy. Less than 10 games and 1 own goal. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. That's so tricky, dude. What the heck? There's been 5 players. That's a lot, dude. That's a lot. There's been 5 players who have an own goal and have only played less than 10 games. That's remarkably unlucky. I'm surprised there's 5. Oh, gosh. We're going to come back to that one. Less than 10 games for Sydney FC. Let's go Pavlicic here. That's the one that we've used before, Adam Pavlicic. He's only played a few games in goals for Sydney FC. 1 game, in fact. There you go. Less than 10 games for Newcastle Jets. Less than 10 games for Newcastle Jets. That's probably heaps, right? That's heaps. Oh, dude. There's heaps. I remember from the thing. There's heaps. There's 65. There's 65 options here for players who have played less than 10 games for Newcastle Jets. Surely I can think of one. Let's come back to that. Goalkeeper clean sheets for Jets. Let's go Anthony Kovic, I think. Oh no. Oh my gosh. You kidding me? 14? We needed 15 and he had 14? I feel like this always happens to me. Sometimes when I get them wrong, they're like the 1 or 2 off. Ugh. Yuck. Ridiculous. Anyway, let's soldier on here. Western United and Jets. Let's go Ivan Vujacic here. Vujacic. Okay. Got good clean sheets for Sydney. We can go Andrew Redmayne. Players play for Sydney and Western. It's probably been heaps, right? Max Burgess. Don't think I've used him in a griddle before. Max Burgess. There we go. Oh, God, I'm so disappointed I slipped on Ante Kovic there. Oh, gosh. How many... Oh, there's only been 2. To be fair, that was a tricky square. Who would be the 2? Surely not Ben Kennedy. Oh, God, I'm curious to see the answers there. Like, no one's really springing to mind there. And then we're going to find for players who have played less than 10 games for Jets. And then someone who's scored an own goal. Oh, my God, dude. Oh, what a terrible stat. Oh, Newcastle Jets. Come on, man. Surely someone. Why can't I think of anyone? I'm sure you got... By the way, I can't read the chat right now. I'm hiding it just to avoid spoilers. I will be reading the chat afterwards. You guys are probably screaming at me right now. Like who's someone that like maybe like a young player who maybe like came in for a couple games last season? You know what I mean? Can't really think of anyone. Like maybe Philip Kankar, but he probably played more than 10 games. Like Archie Goodwin, but he's probably played more than 10 games now too. But for some, I probably have to go backwards a little bit more. Oh, I was gonna go Jake Adelson, who's a bit of a throwback. He played for Mariners a few years ago. I don't even know. I don't think he even made one appearance though for Jets. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm like seriously stumped right now. Oh my gosh. Let's think maybe like a goalkeeper who maybe like made like one appearance or something. Philip Cancar's the only one I'm thinking of, but I feel like he played more than 2 games, surely. Oh, goodness me, dude. It's ridiculous that I can't think of anyone right now. This is probably like the most embarrassing moment I've had on Griddle. Like there's 65 options I have to choose from right now, and I can't think of any of those 65 players. There's gonna be some name. I'm gonna read the answers afterwards, and I'm gonna be kicking myself. I'm gonna be like, oh my god, dude. I want to go Philip Cancar just because I can't think of anyone else. My brain's not cooperating today. It's a rival team of mine. If I can't think of anyone in the next few seconds, I'm just gonna go Cancar here, dude. Oh, huge. Really? Wow. 3 games. I felt like he played more than that. Okay. Okay. No cause for concern there. Philip Cancar was fine. I don't know why. I felt like he played a handful of games last year for Newcastle. We are looking for one more answer here. We are looking for a player who has scored 1 own goal and has played less than 10 games. Brain. Think. Is maybe let's just go with my team. Is there a Mariners player that I can think of who's played less than 10 games and scored no goal? I don't know, bro. Nah, dude. I have no idea. I'm just gonna go Heward Bell, who's probably played less than 10 games. I don't think he's got an own goal, but I'm not gonna think of anyone. Nah. Oh, he's played 16 games. Good lord. Oh my god. Wow, dude. That was one of our worst griddles to date. Let's have a look at the answers. I'm gonna open up the chat now as well. What were yours? What were your answers? Let me know. A few of you guys got 9 out of 9. Oh my gosh. That is so impressive to get 9 out of 9. Oh my gosh, bro. Top left was ridiculous, says Dom. Let's have a look at the options here. Paulie Yongo. Oh my gosh, dude. Sam Graham. That's another Mariners player. Aaron Reardon. Luciano Golden. Aaron Hughes. Paulie Yongo. Did he score an own goal? He played for the first couple months for Mariners last season. I'm trying to recall his own goal. I can't even think of it. Sam Graham. Wow. It was Ben Kennedy. So the 2 goalkeepers were 15 plus goalkeeper clean sheets. Jack Duncan and Ben Kennedy. Interesting. Who scored own goals for Western United? Tamoki Imai, Leo Lacroix, Dylan Parias. Leo Lacroix was the name that did float around for me. I slipped on that one. David Villa, Nieuwenhof. Nieuwenhof had 11 games for Sydney there. Oh, dude, that's close. That's painful. Bernie Abini. That's a good shout for top right. Reddy, Redmayne, Kennedy. Nice. I should have gone for Kennedy, shouldn't I? He has played all against the Jets. Tamoki Imai. I'm going to have to remember that for next time. Max Burgess and Topos Stanley. I don't know how I missed Topos Stanley there. Marcus's answers went for a Yongo. Dudes, well done. I missed a Yongo there for sure. A Yongo, Tilio, Maki Petratos. Nice. Liam Reddy, Andrew Redmayne, Jack Duncan, Lacroix, Calvar, nice shout, Aaron Calvar. Rami Najareen, good shout as well. Man, Marcus, well done for getting Paul Ayongo in top left. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. Jeez. Who do we have there again? I mean, like, that's one of the hardest squares I've seen in griddle history, dude. That's just remarkable. So, a tricky griddle today. A very, very challenging griddle. And but we'll bounce back and we'll keep going tomorrow, man. We'll keep going tomorrow. All right. 3 o'clock it is hit here, local time. Not long until the second half gets underway. Marcus says Oyongo scored the own goal in the dramatic Wellington game. Bro. Man. you got better Mariners knowledge than me, dude. Yeah, that's completely escaped my brain. That's for sure. Nicely done, dude. That was a tricky griddle. Let's actually let me pull it up again. I want to have a look at my scores because it's mixed. It's what's your how you guys? What's your average? What's your average? Let's pull it up here again. Bang. So my average at the moment griddle is 7.9. So we got another. What did we get today? We got another 6, didn't we today? Yeah, we did. We got another 6. Jeez. We haven't got anything below a 6, which is, I guess, a positive. We're leading the way with the 9s there. I don't like how close those 8s are getting, though. I want to keep those 9s leading the way. 7.9 average, I guess, isn't terrible, though, hey. Zolmas, non-football related, but are you watching the Giants game tonight? Yes, absolutely. Definitely tuning in for the Giants game tonight. In the code. Final round in the AFL. Hoping my Giants can get a big win tonight against Carlton. Average is 7.2. Not bad at all, Dom. Very nice indeed. Very, very nice. But 7.9, man. I mean, I guess I have to be happy with that. It's a funny game, Griddle. Like, sometimes it's pretty easy, and then sometimes there's like squares that just come out of nowhere, and they just seem impossible to get, like some of the ones today. So the teams are returning to the field for the second half. Jack Edwards reserve. 2 teams hoping for a solid cup run here. This is a great chance to get some competitive games in the legs of the players. Can Melbourne City hold on? Or will the Knicks bounce back in the second period? Looks like brilliant weather down there in Melbourne today as well. Very, very nice indeed. Let's keep an eye on if there's been any change at halftime too. Wellington Phoenix don't have too many experienced players on the bench. Here we go. Good number of Wellington Phoenix fans in that far right-hand corner as well. A lot of them, I'm sure, are Melbourne-based themselves. They always get a decent pocket of away fans, Wellington Phoenix. Substitution here for City. Supriyan is coming on. Another one of City's new signings in the off-season. Supriyan has experience in France. He's coming on now. Looks like he'll be on to replace Curtis Good at the back there. No way that subboard was blank, says Dom. Indeed. It is always funny when that happens. Jacket off, getting serious, that's right. We're getting serious for this second half, which is underway right now. Melbourne City 0. Sorry, Melbourne City 1. Wellington Phoenix 0. We definitely have a goal. So, Of course, slight delay here on the YouTube stream, so just please be wary of that. But of course, we have the timer going underway here, which is synced up to my stream here. Melbourne City on the ball early here. Indeed, they have had a lot of signings, Tanley. A lot of movement from Melbourne City. Soprayan's on the pitch. He's another new signing for them. Who else is new? I mean, Ugarkovic, Hamza Saki, Tolga Arslan. All three midfielders are completely new for City. As is Bajic is a new signing. Returning to the club, though. Marin Jakalic is starting on that right flank. He's a new player for City. Terry Antonis as well. Alessandro Lapane. Max Schreiber. There's a handful of new players. As City win a free kick. Nama, thanks for that as well. Says Ayonga scored that own goal against Wellington Phoenix in the 2-2 draw. That would have been back in round 2. I remember the game. I just can't remember the goals. Round 2 of last year, right? Chance for a City to find a second early on in the second half. Saki is going to take this free kick. Look at Soprayan in the middle. He's a very, very tall player. New French defender. Looking to get his first City goal here in the box. Hamza Saki. Delivery's good. It was towards Soprayan. Headed away, though. As is Bajic, delivering to that far post. Headed back. Clearance isn't convincing. Arslan shoots! And it's a pretty routine save in the end for Alex Paulson. Alex Paulson looks like he is going to be Phoenix's first choice shot stopper this season, ahead of Jack Duncan, new signing for Phoenix. Duncan signing from Newcastle Jets. Paulson has had to keep his place on the bench for the last couple of years for Wellington, getting some appearances in the cup competition. But with the departure of Ollie Sale, it looks like Paulson's ready to step up. Are you going to do A-League Live Watchalongs? Absolutely. Definitely keen to do A-League Live Watchalongs this season for sure. Big season coming up. Kicks off October 20 for the men's. Kicks off a week earlier in the women's competition. We're going to be doing some women's live watchalongs as well for the Liberty A-League. It's going to come around quick. October. September's just around the corner. Wellington Phoenix on the ball. Lacking a little bit of creativity, Wellington Phoenix. Haven't had too much going forward. Foul committed there by Rufa. What can Wellington Phoenix do here to try and get themselves back into this contest? You can see the 4-4-2 setup that they're playing with, Wellington. Slight tweak from the 4-2-2-2 that they traditionally play under Ufuk Talay, their previous coach. Long ball here will find Jamie McLaren. Inside for Lecky. Lecky looking for that back heel return. Liked the idea, didn't work out though. Barbarousis gives it away. There's Tolga Arslan. And goes down under the challenge. He's looking good so far, Tolga Arslan. Scored a couple of goals in the round of 32. And he's been lively here today as well. That's right, Dom. I believe there has only been the 2 kit releases, Wanderers and Mariners. We should surely expect some more in the coming weeks. Plenty of teams still yet to release their kits for the new campaign, so it should be a busy month or so coming up with kit releases. Yes, definitely keen to do some career modes on EAFC. A player career mode? I've actually never done a player career mode before. I've never tried one. Maybe I'll have to give it a go on the new EAFC. That substitution for City is being confirmed on the broadcast now. In fact, it's Talbot who's come off. Talbot did go down under that challenge. He was injured for a second. He down injured before getting back up in that first half. So he's been replaced by Cyprian, which I would suggest that it's Nuno Reis now playing it right back for City. Wellington on the ball. But you can see there's just no avenues forward for them. I think the thing with Wellington Phoenix now, and the tricky thing with them, is that they're just lacking a creative spark. You know, they had a good creative midfielder in Clayton Lewis playing in midfield last year, but the thing that concerns me about Wellington Phoenix is they don't really have that sort of creative playmaker in that lineup. I mean, Costa Barbarouses is a great winger, great dribbler, good wide player. Bojdar Kraev, again, a good dribbler, very strong and powerful on the ball. And the two central midfielders, I mean, Pennington and Rufer, for me, are two pretty similar players. You know, tall, strong, defensive midfielders. What's going on here? Referee's just halted play for something. And he's heading over to the sideline. What's happening here? Well, there's someone in it. What is going on here? There's someone in a suit on the field, and they're looking up. What is going on? Is anyone listening? Is anyone listening to the commentary going right now? What is going on right now? What is going on right now in this game? So I'm not listening to the commentary. Oh, there's a drone. Oh, there's a drone. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen this at a football match before. A drone is currently hovering above the stadium, and they've halted play. So the referee's talking to the captains here. This is so bizarre. Dom says there's a drone that stopped play. No way. So, I mean, like, can they just get on with it? Like, why would unless the drone... okay, we're gonna play on. We're about to play on, but this is some bizarre scenes we are seeing in Victoria right now. I don't know why they had to pause there. I mean, the drone wasn't necessarily affecting anyone. Potentially, I don't know. I don't know the laws around drones, but potentially not allowed to fly it in this area. City on the attack now. McLaren delivers. Yakalish, nice back heel. Nuno Reis up from right back. Crossing. Headed away by Wooten. Wellington Phoenix struggling to clear this ball. It's fallen to the feet of Leckie, who hits. Forces a nice diving save out of Paulson. Someone could be illegally watching it on the drone, maybe. Wow. A spy. Maybe it's a Melbourne Victory drone. Spying on their rivals. Which wouldn't make sense. They can just watch the game on 10 play. Dom a little bit earlier said nil all written all over this. It's got that vibe about it, isn't it? That it could be a we may not see many more goals. So it's 1-0 to Melbourne City. Boston's here as well. How's it going, Boston? Good to see you here. Dom says that one of the commentators said it's been there all game, so why now? Well, yeah, it's a good question. But I mean, potentially it is from one of the teams, and they're just getting like a good overview sort of angle of the action. Hey, first substitution of the game here for Wellington Phoenix. Josh Rudland is coming off. Hasn't been too involved in the game, some moments here and there, but he's being replaced by David Ball, the experienced player, coming onto the pitch now. David Ball. So how will Wellington line up now? So it looks like David Ball is going to be playing as that second striker alongside Zavada. Here's a chance, Hamza Saki. Good effort. Paulson's behind it. Another shot there for City. They're threatening here early in the second half. So Krajev's out on the right side of midfield for Phoenix and Barbarousis on the left side. Couple long-range efforts here from Wellington Phoenix early in the second half. Challenging Alex Paulson, looking for that second goal. That should be a foul there. Krajev with the big shirt tug on Bajic. A little bit concerning now for Wellington Phoenix. They're really, really struggling to get any sort of forward momentum. Now I'm asked, which A-League player do you hate most? I don't know if I hate any A-League player. That's not a question I can answer, unfortunately. This is a match where Wellington Phoenix are really struggling to sort of get any sort of momentum. How can they change this? City are playing well, dude. There's no sign of City slowing up after losing a bunch of players last year. Here's Lecky still going. He's had a great game, Matt Lecky. Worked really hard as always. Back for Arslan. Back for Lecky. There's Ugarkovic in a wide area. Arslan. Look at this passing play from City. McLaren hooking it up. Should be dealt with here. No, it isn't. Bajic is in behind. As is Bajic. Great chance. Good block. Still on. McLaren. And it's Hamza Saki. What a save. What a save. What a save, says Dom. Fantastic. Alex Paulson. He's been tested this second half, and that's the best save of the day. Oh my gosh, dude, what a save. The reflexes on that. Brilliant. Yes, indeed, Boston. This is a... where's the logo? There it is. This is indeed a Celtic jersey. Here's a chance here for City. Ugarkovic hangs it up. Phoenix clear. Not very far, though. City just piling on the pressure here. Wellington Phoenix can't break out of the defensive third. Great chance here. Bajic in behind. Yet another set piece. Yet another set piece. A-League player with the most clubs. I believe it's Liam Reddy, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's Liam Reddy. Or is it Nikolai Topor-Stanley? Oh, sorry. It's I've just looked it up here. The player with the most A-League clubs is Liam Reddy, equal tied with Anthony Golek. Nick Fitzgerald's also up there with 6. Golek and Reddy, the two players who have played who have the most A-League clubs. There you go. Delivery's not bad. Dangerous area. Goal kick. No worries, Dom. It does have a 0-0 feel to it, though. I know what you mean. Goal does feel like a while ago now for City. Wellington Phoenix essentially have almost a full strength lineup. They're probably missing Sam Sutton, who would probably slot in at left back. Lucas Kelly-Hield's playing there today, once again. But this is a little bit concerning. If this is Wellington's full strength lineup, starting 11, that is, it's a little bit lackluster. Let's have a look at the stats. Let's see if we can try and find the stats here for this one, because it's Wellington Phoenix have been starved of opportunities. They had a few half chances in the first half. Wellington Phoenix have had 5 shots with just a 1 on target. That was Krajev's shot in that first half. Was on target from close range. Oh, wow, the clearance stats on the broadcast. 21 clearances by Wellington, just the 2 clearances made by City, which just indicates the sheer domination by Melbourne City. Really starting to get into some dangerous areas. Thanks, Boston. It is a nice jersey, isn't it? I couldn't tell you what season this is from. I could not tell you. But yeah, it's a bit of an old school one, that's for sure. Who is the oldest A-League player that ever played? Was it Romario? think it might have been Romario. Oldest player. I'm having a quick Google search here. Do you know? How did Tottenham end up? They were fantastic in that 2-0 win against Bournemouth. We were live for that one last night. Great win for Spurs. 2-0 over Bournemouth. Ange Ball has arrived in the Premier League, and it was fantastic to watch. Really, really good stuff last night. An hour of football has been played. Melbourne City 1, Wellington Phoenix 0. And for all Melbourne City's domination, they only have one goal. Can Wellington Phoenix create an opportunity here? That's a nice ball over the top. David Ball's in behind. And that'll be a corner. Jem Young can't keep it out. Heath says this is the 1990-91 Celtic home kit. Dude, is that right? Thanks for looking that up for me. Or you might know that off the top of your head. Maybe a quick Google search. Oh, yeah, I think you're right. It does look like this one. C.R. Smith? Yeah, I think it might be. Very nice. Opportunity here for Wellington from this corner. Payne's delivery is not bad. Headed away at the near post. Barbarouses has to go backwards to Sermon. Finn Sermon. Alex Rufer didn't want that ball, and he's under pressure. David Ball's there to help out. But he's given it away. This is poor play, and it's clumsy foul. And look at Alex Rufer is blowing up at Finn Sermon right now, his teammate. Well, some frustration from the Wellington Phoenix captain, and that tells you all you need to know about Wellington Phoenix right now. They are capitulating, self-destructing. Bizarre foul there from Alex Rufer, who's just blatantly tripped Matt Leckie in front of the referee there. It was Romario. There we go, the oldest A-League player. 40 years, 320 days. Played for Adelaide United back in the day. There you go. Alex Rufer. He didn't want that pass earlier. It was Finn Sermon, and Rufer was like just pointing, just like go pass it back, because there was players closing down Rufer. And Finn was like, nah, here's the ball. You have it. And then the Phoenix captain, gave Finn Sermon an almighty spray after that incident. Cross from Wellington. Sorry, City. The corner delivery still on here for them. Arslan. Really, really good on the ball today, Tolga Arslan. I think he's going to be a good acquisition for Melbourne City. Nice pass into the feet of Bajic around the right-hand side. As is Bajic is somehow playing on the right wing at the moment. This is a really committed performance from Melbourne City. They're really up for this game. Kerry Antonis is preparing to come on to the pitch. Another new signing for Melbourne City. They acquired the midfielder Antonis from Western Sydney Wanderers. Terry Antonis has played for a number of large clubs in Australia. Sydney FC, Melbourne Victory, Western Sydney Wanderers, now Melbourne City, joining the Premiers. Foul here. Free kick for City. It's an important season coming up for someone like Terry Antonis, who on his day is one of the top midfielders in the league. Was basically frozen out of the team at Western Sydney Wanderers last year. Didn't get much of a run. So Terry Antonis coming on here to replace someone. Looks like it might be Hamza Saki coming off. Decent debut from the Moroccan. Took some set pieces. Looked dangerous in that midfield. A lot of movement from him. And again, looks like a player who will have a good season in the A-League from the attributes he's shown us today. What's the temperature for me right now? Good question. What is the temperature? Let's find out. Let's ask Siri. What's the weather like right now?
It's currently clear and 19 degrees.
There you go. 19 degrees. Yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day here on the Central Coast, man. Love it. Hope you guys are having great weather wherever you're tuning in from. Thanks again for tuning in as well. This is our third live stream of the weekend. We'll have some more coming up throughout the week as the Australia Cup continues on Tuesday. Some big games coming up. The highlight game on Tuesday is Western Sydney Wanderers and Adelaide United. An all A-League matchup in the round of 16 as well. And then on Wednesday evening, the focus match will be Sydney FC travelling to Apia Leichhardt. That's right, Dom, yes, who a moment ago said completed the club quadruple. Indeed, Terry Antonis. Aussie, how's it going, man? Interesting shirt there. Yeah, it's the Celtic shirt. And thank you very much, Heath, earlier as well in the chat, who mentioned this is the 1990-91 Celtic home shirt. Bit of a throwback, this one. So, a bit of an incident here for... Is it Finn Sermon who's down here? For Wellington Phoenix, they have a player down, injured. In fact, it's Božidar Krajev, who seems to be in some pain. Here's a replay of the challenge. It looked pretty innocuous. Oh, it's a hand issue. It's a hand. Krajev is currently getting his hand inspected. So potentially fell awkwardly on the hand there. Okay. Hey, Darth Eduardo, how's it going? I'm doing very, very well today. Hope all is well over there in New Zealand. Božidar Krajev still down and being treated for... Well, is he trying both hands here? Well, a bit of a bizarre... I don't know if I've ever seen this before. Krajev potentially injured with both hands, both wrists. And there is some ice on the left hand of Krajev, which looks like it might have a bit of a cut to it as well. So, Krajev should be good to continue. The Bulgarian attacker. Player who had a great first season, a decent first season for Wellington last year. Scored a handful of goals. On his day, looked really, really dangerous too. If he can just get some consistent form going, he can be a top player for Wellington. I didn't see it bleeding, but it did look like he might have had a cut to it somewhere. So, play's back underway. Don't forget the deficit here is just one goal. Even though City have been controlling this game, one goal is all it takes for Wellington Phoenix to get themselves back into this contest. They did it late against Peninsula Power. They got the late winner to win it 2-1 in extra time. Krajev is back on the pitch. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, you can do so by sending through a super chat. Super chats go a long way to helping me continue to create content here at Coastwood Football. But even if not, I mean, I appreciate you guys just tuning in, hitting the like button, hitting subscribe. We've got a lot of A-Leagues content coming up as we edge closer and closer towards October when the A-Leagues do get underway. Some very fun videos coming up as well. And hey, actually, as well, if you guys have any video suggestions, stuff you would like to see, some topics you'd like to see covered, rankings, ratings, any of that sort of thing, let me know. If you guys have any video ideas or any things, any sort of topics you would like to see. Not long until the A-Leagues gets underway, less than 2 months now. 70 minutes of football played. A Jack Edwards reserve in Victoria, Australia. Melbourne City. Oh, it's a giveaway by Wooten at the back. McLaren's in. Great chance. Oh! Terrible miss. Tolga Arslan in behind. And he's blazed it high. What a miss, says Dom. Well, Scott Wooten, experienced defender, you can't do that. He's caught on the ball. McLaren tees it up. And Arslan has to hit the target there. Arslan just hit a cast. He probably did with that ball, didn't he? It sailed over the goal, over the fence, into the car park. Tolga Arslan has been good today, but that was a poor error from the midfielder. Boston says, I'm excited for the A-League. Very excited for the A-Leagues coming up, man. October 14, the A-League Women's gets underway. October 20, the Men's gets underway. Here comes Lecky. Goes down. Wellington trying to get this clear. Trying to get some sort of momentum forward here, Wellington Phoenix. They've struggled, especially in this second half. Interesting to see, seeing the new shade of blue that it's almost green that the Melbourne City staff, like their jackets, the team jackets and stuff that a lot of the people on the bench are wearing. It's like this, and their training shirts the same color too. It's like this, blue. It's almost like a green. I don't know if it's not like an aqua color. It's sort of like that. I don't know what color you'd call that, but it's a new shade of blue. That's for sure. Down the right-hand side. Nice ball over the top for Marin Jakalic, who's in behind. Pulls it back. Very smartly done. Nuno Reis delivers. Headed away. But there is Arslan. Pass inside. Great chance. Lecky. Saved by Paulson. But what's going on here is there's a corner. Is it a corner? What's going on here? Or is it it's not a handball, is it? Let's have a look at this replay. Oh, is it a penalty? No, it's not. It's a corner. Well, where's the corner? The ball didn't go out of play. The ball didn't go out of play. That's a bizarre one. That looked like it should have been a penalty there. Referee. Yeah, I thought it should have been a handball, Aussie. Absolutely. The final is October 7, indeed, yes. Yeah, hey, October's a fun month because we've got Socceroos are playing against England and New Zealand in October. We've got the Australia Cup final on October 7, as Aussie mentioned there. And then the A-Leagues are getting underway. It's a big month. And then, that's right, yes, Australia Cup, yep, we'll be going through September. We've got the quarterfinals and semi-finals in September. And then the final in early October. So, City have looked good. Questions and concerns over whether they will have the same impact in the A-Leagues, with a lot of their star players from last year departing the club, a lot of their young stars as well. But I tell you what, they look like they've replaced those players very well. They look like a class team once again. Still just 1-0 though, don't forget. It'd be pretty dramatic if Wellington were to come back here late on and snatch a late equaliser. Ten shots for City, 7 of those on target. It's a good shot accuracy there for City. Wellington still just with the 5 shots, just the 1 on target for them. 60% of possession has been for the home team. Steven Ugarkovic has been listed with that goal for City in that first half. Forward play here for Melbourne City as they look to make it goal number 2, which might well seal the game. Nice play. Terry Antonis is off the bench and helping set up the goal for Jamie McLaren to make it 2-0 for City. It felt inevitable. Jamie McLaren, the A-League's greatest all-time goal scorer, hits the back of the net. 2-0. Game over, says Dom. I think so. Terry Antonis with a pass out wide. It was Tolgay Arslan with the low delivery. And a nicely worked goal. Nicely worked goal indeed. And there you go. Look at that. They're making another sub. Then they've pulled out, the fourth official has had to pull out the old subboard with the real life subboard, if you like. I don't know. What do we call that? The non-electronic subboard. And there's going to be a sub here as Jamie McLaren. No, it's in fact it's Arslan who's coming off here for Andrew Naboot. Great performance once again from Tolgay Arslan, who could be one of the top midfielders in the competition. What a subboard, says Dom. It was a lovely goal indeed, Aussie. Game, set, match, says Christopher. I think it's pretty safe to say that's going to be too much for Wellington to come back from. Wellington have had barely anything in this match, and they need to go for it now. They really, really need to go for it. It might have been Leckie, actually, with that assist for that goal there, that McLaren goal. 2-0. 2-0. Christopher says, if this is the next squad for the season, I have them bottom. It's a tricky one. I mean, like, I do want to agree with you there, Christopher, but I often, in my ladder predictions, I predict Wellington to finish towards the bottom, and then they always surprise me and, finish mid-table. And who knows, it could happen again. But yeah, this is, I mean, on paper, it's not the most impressive squad. They're lacking some depth in some key areas in midfield. Up top, what do they have going forward? If someone like Oscar Zavada was to get injured, it's an interesting squad. Look, there's still time to sign some players. Here's Jamie McLaren in behind again, scoring number 3. Brilliant finish, J-Mac, who makes it number 3, his second goal in just a matter of minutes. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Melbourne City, they will be a force to be reckoned with once again. And it's another top-class side who looks set to qualify for the quarterfinals. Nicely worked goal, and it was Terry Antonis with the assist. Smart pass. Dude, that's a great finish. That's a really, really good finish, man. Lovely, lovely finish. It was a tricky one too. He made it look easy, the way he just smashed that. But he had to find that little pocket, that little corner at that near post where he could sneak it past Wooten and Paulson. 3-0. 2 minutes apart, those goals, dude. 76th minute, 78th minute. McLaren makes it a double. City are 3-0 up. Wellington are done, man. This is the 3rd consecutive year these two teams have met in the Australia Cup. Wellington had won the 2 previous cup meetings between these two sides. But City are going to finally break that run. Corner conceded there by Nunaresh. Look at this replay here, that McLaren goal. Beautiful finish. No worries, Boston. Catch you later, man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. The one and only New Zealand club in the Australia Cup, set to crash out in the round of 16. Corner here for Wellington, though. They need a goal ASAP, man, if they want to get back into this game. Short delivery for Pennington. Back to Payne, who delivers one of the worst crosses you'll see in Australian football. Australian and New Zealand football, I should say. Tim Payne has sent that 50 metres across to the other side of the pitch. Oh, boy. So, 10 minutes to go here. 10 minutes to see what Wellington have. They're under the pump here. They're under pressure. What can they do? They're in a precarious position. And look at City, the way they're still pushing. Nabut's pushing here. Matt Leckie is now playing in that midfield after Nabut was introduced into the game. Here is Andrew Nabut on the right. The delivery's not bad. Cut out by Pennington. Shot from Antonis. Almost an own goal by Finn Sermon. Chose to get his head on that one. Now it's going to be a corner. Dom says, I thought the Knicks goalkeeper was really good today as well. Unfortunate. It was unfortunate. He made some great saves early on in the second half. Alex Paulson. And as we were saying earlier, it looks likely that Paulson will be Phoenix's number one goalkeeper this season, which, look, he's a great goalkeeper. He's got great reflexes. He showed it today. He made some good penalty saves in the penalty shootout between his two sides a couple of years ago too. Good young goalkeeper. But I don't think there's any much he could do about the goals, to be fair. Whether he could have covered the near post a little bit better for that third goal, maybe. Maybe. Wellington looking to win the ball high at the park here. Good opportunity for them. David Ball swings it in. Kriev on the ball. Passes it infield. Rufar loses it out. That's really poor from Alex Rufar. Too easy there. He's been dispossessed of it. And look at this counter-attack from City. They are sending numbers forward. It's McLaren in. He's teeing it up. And the deflection, it's almost another own goal. Goodness me. Well, Melbourne City, I mean, this is what makes a team a successful team, a winning team in the A-League, who wins trophies. They're just, what's the word I'm looking for? They're ruthless. They're ruthless. You know, even though they're up 3-0 here, Melbourne City, it's not over for them. They want to keep going. They want more. And should be a foul there on Roofer. It is. Oh my god. Sam in the chat, how's it going? Sam says annoyed about the result, but Knicks will be good this year. We'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, I think they need some signings. I think they need a couple of key signings if they want to be pushing into the top 6. But I think they've shown us today against the top sides, they may struggle because they've struggled to get any sort of momentum in this game. Look, Wellington Phoenix always surprise, always impress. But it is a new era. Giancarlo Italiano, the new coach for Wellington Phoenix. Taking over after Ufuk Talay was in charge for the last few years. Sam says, hot take, J-Mac is not the greatest A-League striker ever, not even close. Fair enough. I think he is. I think he is personally. I think he's, played at a few clubs, done well at all those clubs and progressed really well and has been a consistent goal scorer for so many years now. But hey, there's been some other ones up there as well for sure. Besart Berisha was right up there as well as one of the greatest A-League strikers. I just think for me, we haven't really seen a striker like Jamie McLaren who has been so consistent for such a long time. There's been some great strikers that have played like Bobo, Lafondra, Berisha. But what Jamie McLaren has done, where year after year he is a consistent finisher, I think is very impressive. Frenzied Rabbit says, I think J-Mac isn't the most gifted. He is so consistent, but I don't think he is as good at making opportunities like Berisha. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing as well. He's just he's a different type of striker. He's very different to someone like Jason Cummings. He's very different to someone like Besart Berisha. Jamie McLaren is a poacher, and he's someone who when he has the ball in the penalty area, he's more likely than not going to score. Whereas maybe someone like Jason Cummings, for example. Yakalish fires over the top. Jason Cummings through. Oh my God. Marin Yakalish has just sent his shot to like the other block across the road. What a shot. Jason Cummings is almost more of a playmaker. The way he drops deep a lot and involved in the play. Got assists. Different kind of striker. Looks like the sub board is working again. A couple of substitutions for both sides here with a few minutes to go in the game. As this Beach comes off, replaced by Jordan Hall. And Zane Schreiber's coming on here to replace Matt Leckie in midfield. The electric one has new batteries by the look of it, says Dom. That's right. That's right. They finally found some... They had to scramble around for a couple of double A's to get the sub board working again, hey? Today has been highlighted by Melbourne City's positive performance. They've looked strong. Really impressive stuff. Hey, Matt, how's it going? Says, g'day, Lockie. Did you see Leeds v Ipswich? 7-goal thriller crazy Leeds win. Dude, I didn't see that. Oh, my gosh. What was the score? Let's have a look. Leeds, Ipswich. Oh, my God. 4-3 to Leeds. Wow. Yeah, what a game. Goodness me. That's an almighty scoreline. He's McLaren. Let's go back. Hey, Yakalish has looked good as well today and looks like he's going to run at the full 90 minutes. The Croatian/Aussie winger. Here he is now, coming infield. There's Schreiber and there's McLaren looking to hit. He's looking for his hat-trick, J-Mac. He's looking for his hat-trick. Frenzied Rabbit is a good question. Frenzied Rabbit asks, have the performances in the Australia Cup altered the way you feel about any teams for the coming season? Yes. Brisbane Roar, for sure. Yeah. Brisbane Roar were really impressive yesterday. I did not expect them to win so convincingly against Sydney United. And considering they have a pretty threadbare squad, they don't really have a senior striker. To score 5 goals was very impressive yesterday. And they... Not just the result, but the way they played. Like, they played some really nice football. A lot of quick passes, good movement in the final third. They created good chances yesterday, Brisbane Roar. So they were a team who I thought would probably struggle again. But I'm tweaking that, man. I'm tweaking that. I think Brisbane... I don't think Brisbane will crack top 6. One thing's missing, a striker. Brisbane signed a good striker. They could jump into the top 6 in my ladder prediction. Seriously. In terms of Melbourne City, I mean, I thought that maybe they would slip down after losing some key players, but we have seen that the replacements look fantastic. I mean, Hamza Saki, Tolgay Arslan, Aziz Beich is a good replacement for Geordie Boss. Marin Yakalish has been good on the wing today. I don't think there's going to be any issues for City. I think they will finish top 4 once again, easily. Especially when Jamie McLaren's up top banging in goals. Matt Leckie's worked really hard today. Good young players there as well. Zane Schreiber's onto the pitch. Alessandro Lapane as well. Good depth as well, Melbourne City. And we're going to keep an eye on some of the other teams coming up. I mean, Wanderers looked very good in their 6-1 win against Florida Athena in the round of 32 as well. Dom's here in the chat says Raw looking to be taking the Central Coast Mariners approach with nurturing the youth. That seems to be the way, yeah. That seems to be the way. And from what we've heard with Ross Aloisi, that seems to be the case as Wellington Phoenix make a change here. Scott Wooten hasn't had the best game today. He's being replaced by Isaac Hughes, young defender. Phoenix, can they find a consolation goal in the final minutes? We should have a decent chunk of injury time. There has been some stoppages. We had a bizarre stoppage earlier in the game due to a drone flying overhead. Payne. Tim Payne. Timothy Payne from right back. Let's go backwards. The other thing as well is that City not only have looked good in attack, but have been solid and compact in defence. Wellington Phoenix have really struggled to get anything going. They've got nothing going. The Wellington Phoenix player goes down in the box. It's David Ball who goes down. 4 minutes of out of time. 4 minutes. Just going back to Brisbane Roar, though, talking about them taking the youthful approach, it does seem to be the way, yeah. I mean, how good was that from yesterday as well, seeing Quinn McNichol, the 15-year-old, score a goal. I mean, that was, what a dream moment for him, man. 15 years old, and he's scoring a senior goal for Brisbane Roar. Remarkable. Remarkable. Frenzy Rabbit says, I think I feel the same way about with Brisbane. My feeling is just changing to, I don't think they'll get the spoon, and room to grow. I'm so keen to see West Sydney Wanderers play, though. It'll be a great test for Wanderers. I mean, I'm really excited for that game on Tuesday. Wanderers, Adelaide, two teams who finished in the top four last year and played some great games in the A-League last year and are pretty much at full strength right now. You know, their teams are set. There's not much work to be done in those teams. So, yeah, man. That should be a great game on Thursday. And will be a very informative game, that's for sure. 3 minutes to go. Wellington Phoenix looking for a goal back. Melbourne City will be determined to hold on to this clean sheet here. But a 3-0 performance here from Melbourne City. Another convincing win in the round of 16. Ball over the top is very nice. Tim Payne has found some space. Great chance. Cleared off the line. Zawada, surely. What? How has it not gone in? And it's blazed over the top. No. What? Oscar Zawada has missed from point-blank range. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Replay. Payne found the space. Great opportunity. Well, Zawada just tried to chip that up. He should have just hammered it. He tried to flick it over the defender. He should have just belted that. He was right in front of goal. Oh gosh, well that sums up Wellington Phoenix's day to day. It's not going their way. There you go. Christopher jumped in ahead of me. He says sums up Nix's day. Ordinary. Absolutely. Oh goodness. So, work to do for Phoenix. Work to do for Wellington Phoenix. I think if they want to be challenging for finals once again, they need to be making a couple more quality signings, man. No worries, Dom. Thanks for tuning in as always. Thanks to you as well, Darth Eduardo. Is Australia Cup considered a professional tournament? Asks Aussie. Good question. I guess it is. I mean, it sort of is, but sort of not, because obviously we've got some professional teams involved. But you've also got semi-professional teams. So I don't think it is technically. I mean, it probably technically is, because it's a legitimate tournament. I mean, semi-pro tournaments are legitimate too, obviously. But I would consider it a professional tournament. I mean, the winner qualifies for the AFC Cup. You know, that's a pretty prestigious prize. Seconds remaining in this one. What a performance from Melbourne City. 3-0 over Wellington Phoenix. City look good. The way they're going, they could be a serious favourite for the Australia Cup this year too. Great start for them. Advantage played here. Wellington looking for one more opportunity. As injury time has now expired, the 4 minutes is up. Kraev whips it in towards Zawada, who somehow misses again, and it's not offside, dude. Zawada, well, he's had one of his worst days for Wellington Phoenix. I mean, to be fair, he's barely had a chance, but the chances he has had late on here, completely missed it. And that's full time at Jack Edwards Reserve. It's Wellington Phoenix who go down by 3-0 to Melbourne City. What a win for Melbourne City. Fantastic. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What do we make of it? What do we make of it? Tarnley asks, is the Australia Cup like the FA Cup? Pretty much. Pretty much. That's a good way to think about it. Involves the A-League clubs and hundreds of Hundreds of clubs around Australia, from the grassroots level up. Well, Melbourne City have won here with a convincing 3-0 victory. Jamie McLaren with a double. Steve Newgarkovic scored with a superb strike, which may end up being credited to Tolga Arslan after the ball struck his head of that shot, that remarkable goal in the first half. Great performance overall from Melbourne City, defensively good as well. And I tell you what, if I had to pick a favourite for the Cup, I think it's going to be Melbourne City. They were very impressive today. Good in attack, stronger defence. Wellington Phoenix have work to do. That's the takeaway for today. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And you can catch us live during midweek. We've got a couple games coming up midweek. The rest of the round of 16 games are being played on Tuesday, Wednesday evening. So some huge games coming up as well. And then we should be having the draw for the Australia Cup on Wednesday evening. Once again, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it greatly. And I'll see you guys throughout the week. My name's Lockie. This is Coastal Football. See you guys in the next one. Cheers.